Thanks for tuning in to Blitz. I'm Brian Carter, joined on the phone by Charles Beusse, third-year head coach for Dawson County Cross Country. Charles, great to have you on Blitz once again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I enjoy getting a chance to talk with you about cross country, and I know we spoke a couple years ago and even last year, and you're an '08 graduate of Dawson County. And at one point you had told me it was kind of like a dream come true being able to come back and coach at the old stomping grounds. A couple years later, is that still the case for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to be involved with the program, first as a runner and now as a coach, and see how much it's grown over the years since I was in high school, it's really been great. And cross country is one of those things that I absolutely love. I absolutely love coaching. I love participating when I was a runner, and to be able to kind of come back to my own school and give back and see and help that program grow, it really is a dream come true. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to coach at Dawson.
Now, I know you guys got to be really excited with the season just around the corner for you. You've been putting in a lot of the hard work, ramping it up. If I understand correctly, just about a week or so ago, you've kind of been ramping your efforts up a little bit. How excited is the group this year?
They're really excited. We're set up this should be a good season for us. We had some success last year, and so we're just trying to kind of build upon that this year. But we put in a lot of hard work this summer. We started back at the beginning of June with optional practices. We've had great turnouts for that, which is huge for us. Anytime the kids are coming out, on their own voluntarily and putting in the work, it's great to see that. So, over the course of the summer, we've put in a lot of hard work. This month, we've really kind of started ramping things up a little bit in preparation for our season, but I think the kids are ready to go, and I think they're pretty well set to have a good season.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, we've seen since you've come on board the last couple of years, we've seen the improvement within the program. Last year, I know the girls were ranked as high as 4th, boys as high as 7th, and then they finished 5th and 9th respectively in the state meet. Is that indicative of the kids really buying into your philosophy in the program?
Well, I hope so. That's kind of what I tried to go for when I started coaching there. I told the kids that, if they would buy into it and they would work hard, that I would be totally committed to them. And I've really tried to do that with my efforts during the summer and just being available to the kids, holding those optional practices and stuff. And the kids have really bought into that. And I think that the success that we've had and the improvement that the kids have seen themselves has been great motivation for them. So, hopefully they're bought into the program now. We've had a few years to kind of adjust things, maybe from what they were doing before I came in and started coaching at Dawson. But, like you were saying, we have seen some improvements, and so hopefully that's good motivation for the kids going forward and really kind of setting the stage to help build the program in years to come.
Yeah, and it would look like you have a pretty bright future there with Jacob Poston, a junior, coming back. He was pretty much your top runner on the boys' side, and then on the girls' side, you bring back Marley Hamby, who often was the top runner on the girls' side. She's just a sophomore, so things look pretty good there at Dawson County.
Yeah, we've got some really talented youth. Jacob, he came out last year with his first year as a runner. Did well on cross country for us, had a great spring in track, ended up being about a 4:30 miler. And, when you see a kid like that, they are hitting some times in that 4:30 range for the mile when they've only really been training for about 10 months, that's huge, and that speaks volumes to the talent that he has. He's just a natural athlete. I really don't think it would matter who was coaching him. He's going to be successful as a runner. But I've seen great improvements with him over the summer as well. And so I think just having another year of training under him this cross-country season could be really big for him. And the same with Marley. She was young last year, very talented runner, and just the accumulation of miles over the course of another year, I think, is going to set the stage for her to have a big season as well.
Absolutely. Seems like the sky might be the limit for her, again, just being a sophomore and coming in 3rd in the region. But, the girls won the region title last year. That had to be a pretty cool feeling for you, grabbing your first region title as a coach.
Yeah, definitely. It's only the second time that the girls have won region in school history, so that was huge for us, huge for our program, and trying to build things up, get those numbers out there. other kids at the school are seeing the success that the cross country program's having, and they're becoming more interested in running. We've got younger kids, middle school age kids that are looking forward to getting to high school to where they can participate. And that's huge for us, because the more kids you can have come out for the team, the better your chances are to draw in some of those kids that are going to be successful at it. So, the girls' championship last year was huge. I guess we got a little bit of a target on our back this year, going back into it, being region champions last year. So, I told the kids just last week that, it's easier sometimes to get on top than to stay there. So just because they had success last year doesn't mean that we can back down at all, and should be even more motivation to work hard and try to stay on top.
Right, and you've been quoted as saying that it would be kind of a dream come true for you to coach collegiately one day, but that first things first, you would love to get Dawson County a state championship. Realistically, when you look at that, and you got pretty close. I mean, you're now, you got a team that's won a region title on the girls' side, and the boys are up there in the top 10 in the state. How close are we to seeing that at Dawson County?
Well, that's kind of hard to say, because you look at the girls, and we should have a good team this year and all, but it's like I tell the kids, we can only control what we do. We have no control over what's going on at other schools in the state, and so there's going to be some good competition out there. Blessed Trinity and Westminster last year had great teams. They're looking like they're going to come back strong again this year. So we're just focused on doing the very best that we can, and if a state title or region championship comes along with that, then we're always happy to try to get it. But that's our long-term goal. That's what we're working toward, is to build up the program to where we can be state contenders. So, to say that we're there this year, I don't know, but I think that we've definitely done some things that are putting us in the right direction towards that.
Yeah, you're definitely trending upward, and Charles, just really appreciate your time, and really looking forward to seeing what you're able to do with this program once again this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.